everyone. Welcome to the Glow Podcast. I am here today with Jamie from Skinney Med Spa in New York, and I'm super excited to talk to her about kind of current trends going on in the aesthetics industry. But before we get started, if you are new here, we are Tailored Marketing, and we help aesthetic clinics and skincare clinics grow their businesses and increase their revenue through strategic marketing strategies. So if you are interested, drop a comment below. Jamie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking with us. If you could, I would love if you would go ahead and introduce yourself so my listeners know who you are.
Yeah, hi Taylor, thanks so much for having me. It's an honor. You are really spearheading the way through kind of guiding people through what's coming next in the aesthetics industry. So I'm honored to be here. Like I said, I'm a beauty director at Skinney Med Spa, and basically what that means is I meet with all of our new patients, I have a conversation with them, understand what their goals are, and from there kind of treatment plan with them, kind of laying out what they need in order to achieve them, and kind of set up the plan going forward. So I also work in client retention as well, so making sure that those patients after their initial treatments have just a wonderful experience and stay with us for the long haul.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I feel like, being kind of like that first point of contact with someone when they're coming in, and like, it's like, okay, I want this or I want this. And it's like, all right, well, this is what we need to do here is like such a crucial role, really. And not just med spas, but even like doctors' offices, when you're going into like even like a store, the first person who you kind of like interact with and like talk to is so important to your overall experience.
It's so true. It's all about the personal connection, because I think there's so many different businesses that are offering the same treatments and the same services, right? I can go get Botox on any corner. I could go get have an Emcel treatment on any corner, but it's why do they choose you? And making sure that they feel that personal, and I'd say, still most of our clients are women, that emotional connection, not only that they're surrounded by people that they, trust with their face, with their body, but also that they want to be around, that they want to keep coming to see over and over again is really important.
Yeah, I feel like especially for things like in beauty, you're like going to obviously get like your treatment or get your hair cut or like get your makeup done or whatever it is, but you're also going for the experience, and like you're like I want to be able to chat and like have fun. It's not like going to the dentist like where it's like it's a chore. It's like something fun you get to do.
Exactly. It should feel like a break. It's called a med spa, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And I will say some of the treatments are relatively spicy. So, my mom always told me growing up, you gotta suffer to be beautiful. So I can't say that it's always relaxing, but at least hopefully the faces you see and the people who are, administering your treatments are friendly and make you have a pleasant experience.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more with you. And kind of going into a little bit too with the trends that we're seeing kind of within the aesthetic industry as a whole is definitely like one of my favorite things that I've seen is like the natural enhancement kind of trend, where it's like basically, you're not going for like, okay, how big can we get like our lips anymore? Like how big can we get like filler or anything like that? But it's more of just enhancing what's already there and really, focusing on the person's features as an individual. And so how have you kind of seen this change, I guess, patient expectations and their requests over the past few years, 5 years, however long?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. Number one, anytime we introduce a new treatment or a new service or a new injectable, I think just as humans, we kind of go to the deep end with it.
Yeah.
It's something new, it's exciting, we haven't really worked with the product or the treatment for a long time, so we kind of like overcorrect and go all the way over here, and then we pull it back and hopefully find, that middle road. Like I said, it's trial and error, right?
Yeah.
We see, oh wait, actually we're doing it this way and it's perhaps not as attractive as it could be, as if we're actually just taking our features and making them look like us but better.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing a lot too on social media, Taylor. Everyone is kind of looking the same because we're
Yeah.
treating patients the same and everyone looks like they came out of the same factory. So I think kind of like towing that line of, how are we able to enhance what you have but not make you look kind of like a cookie cutter like everybody else is so important in aesthetics. That's number one. Number two, I think the power of like radical clickbait of people seeing online, my face was ruined with Botox. Oh, my face is overfilled with filler. That we're just creating these headlines, so like with outrageous,
Yeah.
claims, and people are getting scared of that. So they're like, oh no, I'm scared to do anything now, which shouldn't be the case. But again, social media can be a wonderful educational tool, but it can also, kind of lead you astray in
Yeah.
claims that are right and not so right. So the people who say, well, I would never do Botox, I would never do filler, and at Skinny we offer tons of other types of treatment, but the natural part I think is probably lends itself more to injectables
Yeah.
than to anything else, is because they've seen people who look like they've had filler. And there are people who you don't think have had filler and they have. You just can't
Yeah.
tell. And like that's what we're going for. So you can do it without it being detectable.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree with you. And I think you brought up such a good point too with social media and like the clickbait because we've all seen it. Like, even it'll be like people saying things like, oh, I wish I never got filler. And then, like, if you watch the whole reel or, whatever it is, then at the end of it, they're like, just kidding. Like, love my, you know? And so, like, it really is just these people trying to get you to click on it. They're trying to get more views, whatever their ulterior motive is there. But I do think social media has brought a lot of these things to light and then also kind of led us to murky waters too with these different things because obviously everyone has different experiences. It really depends on where you're going, what you're requesting as well too, because a lot of people sometimes if you go somewhere and you're like, I want this or I want this, maybe they will give it to you even if it's not maybe the correct like way to go about it as well.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I think we just see all different types of stories on social media for sure. And so, can you share a little bit more about kind of your approach to consultations and why personalized treatment planning is really a core part of the customer journey and client journey at Skinney Med Spa?
The first thing I always want to find out with the client or patient is where are you at in your beauty journey? What treatments have you done in the past? What treatments are you interested in? Where on that scale do you fall so that I know kind of how I don't overwhelm you? Or, if you've done 10 things and I, start recommending them and you've done it all 10 times,
Yeah.
then I sound silly. So I want to know what your comfortability is, if you've done microneedling, if you've done a laser, if you've done a facial, if you've, done any body contouring, so that I can gauge like the starting point from where we are so that I don't either say too little or say too much. And I think that provides like a really good jumping off point for what your goals are and how do we build upon where you're at in that beauty journey.
Yeah. No, I think that that's super, super important too, because if like someone comes in and you're overwhelming them with information and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, this is like my first time walking into a medical spa. And like, I don't even really know what Botox is, like I've heard of it, but don't know what it is. So yeah, I think that that is such an important piece because obviously everyone is at kind of different stages and you don't want to overwhelm them or underwhelm them even too with like what you're saying. So it really, you have to gauge kind of their level of knowledge in the field as well.
Right. And also like how long do they have? Some people are getting ready for vacations or weddings or trips. And I think obviously your beauty journey should be a lifelong journey, kind of like health and fitness. And we're going to talk about like internal wellness later. But, how much time do I have to work with in order to get you how you want to look for the thing that you're trying to get ready for, I think is something else, especially during the spring and summer with wedding season and vacations coming up and graduation, is something else to consider too. So it's that time part as well is really important.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Even like for myself, like if I have like a wedding coming up or like a certain event or I'm going on vacation, like we're such goal-oriented people. So it's like we're so much more likely to do the things that maybe we know need to be done, but we don't have. Yeah, exactly. But when you have a due date, it's like, okay, I gotta like do this, get this done by this time, and then everything will be good, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I know obviously with different patients and clients coming in, you kind of have an array. I know you mentioned that it is a lot of females as well. And so I know that during our first conversation, you told me that you guys are introducing the iKoon treatment, which is safe for pregnant and breastfeeding clients. Can you tell us a little bit more about this technology and what inspired you all to bring this one on?
Yes, so the name is actually really confusing and misleading. It's actually pronounced iKoon, and when we had a training on it, and hold on, I only say that not to correct you, but when we had a training on it a couple of weeks ago, I asked the rep because how it's written is ICO, and then there's like a space, and then ONE. So it could also be like one icon.
Yeah.
Because the way it's like broken up, it looks like there should be like a natural pause and like or a different word.
Yeah.
The first question I asked her was like, how the heck do you pronounce this?
Yeah. You're like, okay, we want to make sure that we are saying this right, but like, what even is this word?
Right. It's the iKoon, despite the hyphen in the name. And it's technology that came over from Italy. I think like one of the first like 100 med spas in the US to have it, which is really cool. Like
That's
Europe
awesome.
and Asia are always like, 5 years ahead of what happens in the US. I mean, everything starts east and then comes to the west, it seems. But the heart of what Skinney does, or something really like foundational to our services, is body contouring. And we offer cool sculpting. We offer the Eon laser, which is the heated version of cool sculpting to permanently eliminate the subcutaneous fat cells. We have the M sculpt, we have the True Flex. So a lot of different ways to contour the body, but we have the Venus Freeze to help with skin tightening and lymphatic drainage. But the iKoon kind of does all of that in one. And it's a really comfortable treatment. Really, it like people were like falling asleep during our training while they were getting treatment. And I think too, you mentioned pregnant and breastfeeding women. You can't do a whole lot when you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Pretty much the most that you can do here would be like a watered down hydrofacial, which is nothing to brush off, but still it doesn't give you a lot of options, and it helps to get like I said, the lymphatic drainage flowing, blood circulating going. It helps with cellulite smoothing. It helps with, there's an attachment that also does help to kill the subcutaneous fat cells as well. So it does a little bit of any and everything. It's really comfortable. You can treat the whole body and the face in one treatment.
Wow.
Which is great. So
that's
it's not
amazing.
Just that we can focus on one area, but we can also treat the body and the face all together.
That's so cool. How long does one of those treatments take?
It depends on what area you want to have treated. So anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes.
Okay. That's not even really like that long, honestly. So
yeah. But even, like we mentioned, if you're getting ready for something, that's a great treatment if you want to feel like super snatched. But I think it also offers long-term benefits as well.
For sure.
If you continue to come over a series of like 10 or 15 sessions. I struggled with like gut issues and things like moving early this year and this winter, and lymphatic drainage was something that suffered because of that too. So I'm all in on this, and I think internal health and wellness and longevity is like huge, and this is something that does a little bit of the inside and helps you look better on the outside all in one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's super, super cool. And so you said you can expect to see kind of like results too after just one treatment?
Yeah. The rep said I haven't done it yet, so I can't speak from experience, and I like to do all the treatments because
Yeah.
I gotta be able to speak to it. I gotta say, this is what it did to me, this is how I felt after, this is what you can expect, here's my before and after photo.
Yeah,
I think that helps to build trust.
for
So
sure.
if you are a technician or a beauty director in sales in a med spa, please do the treatments. Tell me that it's more so of a feeling,
Okay.
and like the first 1 to 3 treatments than actually like seeing a massive result.
Yeah.
However, I think anytime I have a lymphatic drainage massage or go through any sort of, I'm doing rolfing right now to help break up fascia, I see a huge difference. So I can't imagine that you wouldn't, but again, I don't have empirical evidence on that yet.
Yeah, no, I was just so curious because that's such a cool treatment for sure. And so, are there any other kind of like international technologies or even wellness trends that you're most excited about with maybe even like you guys bringing it to Skinney Med Spa or even things just you've seen in general?
Yeah, something we're just launching is the Regeneran salmon sperm, which has been a hot viral treatment. It's a total skin rejuvenation product. You can inject it into the skin or you can microneedle it into the skin. And I haven't really done the research to find out how we figured out that there is some sort of protein or something inside the salmon sperm that really just, does its work on human skin. But
Yeah.
it does, and it's fantastic. So that's something else that I think got taught in like K-beauty in Korea that we're also bringing over too, which we're really excited to roll out and are just starting to roll out like in these next few weeks.
Yeah, no, that's super, super exciting. Yeah, I've heard about the salmon sperm, which is so interesting. And I think, yeah, they were using it in South Korea and for a while now. And it's like kind of finally making its way over to the US with just all of our regulations taking a little bit longer and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's super, super exciting. And that is primarily helping with like skin tightening, anti-aging as well.
Yeah, it helps with everything. It really helps to knock those like fibroblasts into high gear to build the collagen and elastin. It helps with texture. It helps with like skin moisturization, that glass skin look that everybody's really hot on right now. Obviously, we all want our skin super smooth to look like a filter.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever achievable, but we're working on it day in and day out. But it really is a total kind of skin anti-aging rejuvenation treatment. And I was comparing it to like the Skin Vive, which maybe a lot of people are familiar with from Allergan.
Mm-hmm.
We love Allergan, we do Botox and cool sculpting and yay, Allergan. But like if you were to compare and contrast those, because we're injecting that superficially into the skin as well, it's like a moisturizer versus a retinol is how I think it. So this is going to give you that like hyaluronic acid, like moisturizing plumpness, but this one's going to help with anti-aging as well as moisturizing, as well as kind of completely rejuvenating the skin, not just giving it like a hydrated plump glow.
Okay, that's cool. That's a really, really good, I think, like visual for people too, because it's something that they can kind of compare it to. And even like, if you're familiar with retinol, if you're familiar with hyaluronic acid, then you can kind of get that picture of how they make your skin look different.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so I know too at Skinney, you guys are kind of starting a wellness division with a major expansion. And so what role do you kind of see internal wellness playing in the future of aesthetic medicine? And for you guys at Skinney as well.
I am holding everyone's hands when I say this. I'm screaming it so loud for the people in the back. Everything that you see happening on your skin starts inside the body. Like, I cannot say this loud enough. If we are taking care of our insides, our gut, our intestines, our liver, guys, the liver, the gallbladder, that rules what's happening on your back, on your face, on your chest, everything. And it's hot in this room, so like I'm really hot. So like that's not my internal organs being off, but it shows up on your face relative to the quality of your skin, the integrity of your skin, how you age, if you're having acne breakouts, if your skin's too oily, if your skin is too dry. Dealt with hyper and hypothyroidism on and off for the last couple years. And my skin is normally so oily. Like you can throw pasta at it and make pasta salad. That's how oily I am. Dried up like the Sahara Desert, when I got sick, when everything was off in my body. So taking care of what's going on in the gut is really where you should be starting with everything. The dark circles under your eyes. Oh my gosh. And we think, we don't see what's going on, but we actually do, right? They're so connected. So we can spend, all this money on the lasers and the treatments and the creams and the lotions and the potions. If this is, I don't even know if you can see me, but if like
just about.
And so this is like number one, so important. The peptides, like NAD is so important right now. I mean, obviously any B vitamin, super important. The glutathiones of the world, like the turmerics, all of those things that really help to reduce inflammation on the inside, then also reduce inflammation coming up on the outside of the body too. How the face retains water, how the body retains water, all dependent on what's going on inside. So beauty is internal and external. I mean, we obviously know that from just like being a good person, but actually with, your internal organs is crucial.
Yeah, well, and I think like too what you said so important, if you see something kind of flaring up on your skin or maybe like something irregular, like you said, maybe your skin's normally like oilier and it becomes dry, it's like, okay, maybe then it's time to look like inward and be like, okay, so what's going on internally right now? Like there must be some sort of kind of like issue, like maybe you've had like a change in your diet or change in your environment, or you might have something. Yeah, exactly. You might have something more like not serious, but it could be more serious going on. So it's always good to like almost notice those changes as well, because I've heard it even said like your skin is like the canary in the gold mine, because like it kind of can give you those like that signal that something is going on more internally that maybe needs more looking into, or maybe you need to make like a certain lifestyle change even.
Totally. And we don't realize when our cellular health is deteriorating, all of that inflammation and all of just the ickiness that can show up, it really is kind of showing how healthy the cells are inside of our body. So taking care of the cell first is of the utmost.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you for sure. So I know you talked too a little bit about client retention and how that is something that you also focus on as well. And so how do you kind of approach client retention in such a results-driven industry?
Yeah, I always make sure that everyone who leaves a meeting with me has a direct number to me that we can go back and forth on if maybe they didn't move forward with treatment and they still have questions, or they did and I need to check in with them before, during, and after. Having that one-on-one, everybody's texting now, which makes it so easy and so great, but I try to always keep a texting relationship at least going on with the clients that I see, so that we talked about in the beginning, that personal connection never really fails. So, and if we do have a special or a sale going on, making sure that you reach out to them and seeing if they want to take advantage of it. But again, just really ensuring that personal connection is always there and they feel comfortable talking to you and coming to you, and you're more so you're an expert, but you're also a friend.
Yeah.
It's balancing both of those. Being the person who can kind of like teach them and lead them and guide them in the right direction that they trust, but then also having them feel comfortable enough to even be as transparent to share the things that are bothering them, or, whether something's good or bad.
Yeah, just having like a really personal relationship with them, because like we talked about too in the beginning, it is like you are a friend. Obviously you're a professional as well, but like it is definitely more of a friendship relationship than you have with like other practitioners. So yeah, I think that that's really, really important as well. And we talked a little bit too in the beginning about social media and kind of the role that it is playing. And so I wanted to go back to that a little bit. And so how has it kind of helped you as well as Skinney Med Spa with growing y'all's brand?
Mm-hmm. So storytelling and social media, I mean, it's crucial now
Yeah.
because if I wasn't working in aesthetics and I was just a patient, which I was at one point in my life, right? The
Yeah.
first place I'm going to is still social media. Social media is like your business card. It's,
Yeah.
it's your friend, especially with the millennials, with even I'd say like Gen X, obviously Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, they're too young. They're
Yeah.
so also mind blowing. Not to get off topic, but building a brand where everything seems like coherent. We're all kind of establishing like this like aesthetic picture of like natural yet elevated yet just when people walk into like Skinny, they're like, oh my god, it's so beautiful in here, right? And
Yeah.
I think Adriana and Marissa Martino are founders, CEOs, licensed estheticians, the mamas of Skinny. They have done a job that is really second to none on building and keeping consistent the aesthetic of the practice on the inside, what happens on social media, the experience, just the whole from A to Z of when
Yeah.
you find us online to when you walk out the door. The bags that the products go in, everything is considered and thoughtful. And so I think that consistency and that branding is they do it better than anybody, in my opinion, and not that I'm biased or anything, but
Yeah.
but sale or storytelling is integral in sales. So, taking you and understanding what's going on with you before and then where are we going to take you after and painting that picture, doing that on social media is so important because then the patient starts to envision, well, oh, like I'm here, I identify with this person, but then I could be here,
Yeah.
right? And I see this after of this person and I look up to this person and I am, making, I don't know, perhaps judgments, right or wrong about their life and about how they exist in the world. And I want that too.
Yeah.
So I think that painting that picture through social media and then also in the conversation that you're having with the patient is really important. So
Yeah.
the before, the during, and the after.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I think that social media obviously has been important for a while, but now, like you were saying, and I think you used a really good term for it, it's almost like your business card. That's where people are going to see your results, see your personality, see what services you offer. They're going there for like everything basically,
Yeah.
And so if you can paint that full picture of what you're going to provide or like who you are, and also especially with something like a medical spa, it is more of a personal relationship, so you want to make sure that you also are gonna like jive with these people and get along with them, and it's not like completely the opposite spectrum of like who you are. You want to make sure that it is, you're gonna jive with them and be able to be friends with them, and you're not gonna sit there for a treatment for 30 to 90 minutes and like be like, where am I?
Yeah. And the other thing is too, I think that's been so not like surprising, but like eye-opening to me is how resonant the aesthetic and the brand that we've built really engages so many like diverse people,
Yeah.
age-wise, race-wise. I mean, male, female, everybody in between. It's incredible to see how kind of the product that we've put out and the videos and the pictures and the yada yada resonates with so many people, which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I mean, hey, everyone wants to look good, right? Look and feel good. Well, cool. Well, that is great. I would love for you to tell everyone where is the best place to find you, where is the best place to find Skinney Med Spa online. I will also put everything in the show notes as well for easy access, but if you want to tell everybody, that would be great.
Yes, find us at Skinney Med Spa. There's an E in Skinny, it's Skinney, Med Spa. My Instagram handle is at JeKelton, Kelton. Our website is just www.skinneymedspa.com. We're in New York City. We have 2.5 locations in New York on the Upper East Side in Flatiron, and then we also have a stand up in Saks as well. So we kind of have a storefront there, and we do treatments and treatment rooms in Saks. Who knew? But we also have a location in the Saks down in Miami and Bal Harbor as well. So for everyone in South Florida, you can get your skinny on down south as well.
Awesome. Super, super cool. And like I said, I will also put everything in the show notes too for easy access. Thank you so, so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Taylor. This was so fun. You're amazing.
Awesome.